From the very moment these prison walls closed around me, the relentless echo of a single word has haunted my thoughts. Justice. It's a word that once held the promise of fairness, a beacon of hope in a world where right and wrong were meant to be clear. But as each day passed by within these cold, unforgiving bars, justice felt like a distant, elusive dream, slipping through fingers like grains of sand. I find myself submerged in the murky depths of Section 489F cases, a sea of legal intricacies and complications that could fill volumes. These cases, often based on misinformation and misunderstanding, are a labyrinth of injustice in their own right. In a future series, I intend to explore in depth these legal intricacies of a variety of common cases, including Sections 489F, 376, 382, 391, 365, 302, and many more. But today I want to share a story that stands out among the shadows, a story that has haunted my thoughts more than any other, the story of Qaidee Irfan. Irfan was not your average man. He stood as a symbol of hope and education in his impoverished village, where opportunities were scarce. He achieved what no one else in his village had managed, being the first and only person to earn a college degree, and not stopping there, he went on to secure a prestigious position as the night manager at a renowned 5-star hotel. But his life took a dark turn, and the nightmare began over a decade ago. It all started with a proposal of marriage, an innocent proposition that would set in motion a chain of events Irfan could never have foreseen. When a girl from Irfan's village proposed marriage to his family, he faced a tough choice. He declined the proposal because he was seeking a life partner with at least a matriculation-level education. This rejection deeply wounded the girl, Sobia, creating a profound rift between their families. However, fate had a cruel twist in store. A few years down the line, Sobia's brother approached Irfan, seemingly out of the blue, with a request for assistance in a business venture. In the spirit of reconciliation and with the hopes of mending strained relations between the families, Irfan agreed without hesitation. Sobia's brother explained that he needed Irfan to act as a guarantor, providing a security check of 200,000 Pakistani rupees. He assured Irfan that the check was a mere formality for filing purposes, devoid of any legal consequence. Trusting in the goodwill of the moment, Irfan issued an open check from an old dormant account he no longer used. But little did Irfan know that sinister motives were at play. Sobia's brother handed the check to Sobia herself, who, with calculated malice, intentionally bounced it at her bank and filed a case against Irfan, which ultimately led to his arrest. In the depths of desperation, Irfan pleaded with the investigation officer, his voice heavy with the weight of innocence. Yet his appeals fell on deaf ears. The very officer tasked with upholding justice had been swayed by Sobia's bribes, choosing to turn a blind eye to the truth. Even in the darkest of moments, Irfan clung to the belief that reason would prevail. He attempted to resolve the matter out of court, offering to pay 500,000 Pakistani rupees in exchange for dropping the case, hoping to salvage his reputation and future. However, Sobia's thirst for vengeance was insatiable. She had no interest in the money. Her sole desire was retribution, to shatter Irfan's life. As the trial commenced, Irfan expected a fair process, believing that justice would eventually be served. But in a shocking turn of events, the trial unfolded unlike any other. In cases like these, where there is an option to pay the check amount and secure one's freedom upon a guilty verdict, Irfan found himself denied that very concession. In ordinary circumstances, a guilty verdict might result in a maximum prison sentence of 3 years. Yet, Irfan's world crumbled when the judge declared a guilty verdict carrying a staggering 7-year sentence. Desperation led Irfan to appeal, but the judge remained unmoved. He had not only succumbed to Sobia's web of bribery, but more so was entangled in an illicit sexual relationship with Sobia that clouded his judgment and undermined the very essence of justice. In the realm of any civilized society, we are taught that the law is the bedrock, a shield against chaos and anarchy. Ironically, it was this very law that had cast me into my current confinement, Kot Lakpat prison, a place where its essence seemed to dissipate like mist in the morning sun. When I first crossed paths with Qaidee Irfan, he had already endured 28 months of a sentence unjustly handed down. Upon my arrival in Barrack 11B, Irfan had taken on the role of Munshi to the barrack in charge, a position that rotated monthly. It was in the final week of his tenure that he shared with me the heart-wrenching reality of his gravely ill 6-year-old son, languishing in the hospital with no one capable of providing proper care, given his family's lack of education. That night, my prayers echoed fervently, not just for Irfan's son's recovery, but for a court date that would bring Irfan the freedom he so rightfully deserved. Months trickled by, and Irfan found himself assigned to the Bakri Hatha, a temporary holding area for inmates on their way to local courts, a bi-weekly ritual. It was in this heart-wrenching atmosphere that a fellow inmate, a Handival, delivered the news that Irfan's son had tragically passed away. My own scheduled visit to Bakri Hatha was on Thursday, and I planned to meet Irfan then, to offer my condolences and a shoulder to lean on. But life often has its own plans. On Wednesday, news reached us that Irfan's appeal had been heard and the judge had ordered his immediate release, recognizing his innocence. In the intricate labyrinth of Pakistan's judicial system, it usually takes approximately a week to process orders when a sentence is overturned for an inmate. Thankfully, I would have the opportunity to meet Irfan the very next day. That night, I grappled with a whirlwind of emotions in my cell, consumed by the uncertainty of how to approach Irfan in the morning. Should I congratulate him on his newfound freedom, or should I express my deepest condolences for the tragic loss of his son? The dilemma weighed heavily on my heart. The next day, when I finally met Irfan, a simple nod and a compassionate smile conveyed both sentiments without the need for words. As Irfan spoke, he revealed that the judgment had uncovered the sinister conspiracy between the prosecution, Mudai, and the investigation officer, highlighting the need for strict legal action against them. Some might argue that justice was ultimately served, even if belatedly, but isn't it said that justice delayed is the greatest injustice? The tables had turned dramatically. Sobia, the orchestrator of Irfan's suffering, was now offering 2 million Pakistani rupees to settle the matter, and the once corrupt investigation officer was also eager to reach a compromise to evade facing charges. Yet, what about the accountability of the judge who had delivered an unjust verdict? What about the 30 months of youth that Irfan had lost behind these unforgiving bars? What about the indelible trauma he had endured within these prison walls? Most importantly, there was no accountability for the loss of a precious life. Irfan's son might still be alive if his father had been there to care for him. Is this not a form of hidden murder concealed within the shadows of a flawed system? This tale invites us to ponder on the implications of our justice system. In the world of justice, delays can be tantamount to denials, and we must question the very essence of a system that permits such injustices to persist. Justice delayed is justice denied. Thank you for watching Qaidee Irfan, where every tale is a testament to the human spirit and every voice resonates with the truth as they perceive it.